The massive alien ship appeared over New York without warning. It descended through the clouds like a silver mountain, casting shadows over the skyscrapers below. Around the world, millions watched their screens as humanity faced its first official contact with alien life. Inside the UN building, Ambassador James Miller adjusted his tie for the 10th time. As Earth's chosen representative, he carried the weight of humanity on his shoulders. The security teams around him stood alert, their weapons ready but hidden. They had prepared for this moment for years, ever since they detected the approaching ship 3 months ago. The alien delegation materialized in the middle of the UN Assembly Hall. Their tall, gray forms towered over the humans present. The lead alien, wearing elaborate purple robes, stepped forward. A small device on its chest glowed, and it began to speak in perfect English. "We are the representatives of the Galactic Council," it announced. "We have come to offer Earth protection and guidance under our rule." Miller stepped forward, maintaining a diplomatic smile. "We welcome peaceful contact with other civilizations," he said. "But Earth is a free world. We would be interested in equal diplomatic relations." The alien's expression changed slightly. "You misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. Earth will join the Council as a protected planet, or face the consequences. You have 30 days to accept our terms." The assembly hall erupted in whispers. Miller remained calm, though his heart raced. "And these terms?" he asked. The alien projected a hologram showing a long list. "Earth will surrender all military control to Council forces. You will provide resources as requested. Your technology development will be supervised. Your people will serve in Council facilities as needed. In return, you receive our protection." Miller looked at the document, then at his fellow ambassadors. They had expected something like this. Earth's intelligence services had intercepted enough alien communications over the past decades to know the Council's true nature. They were not diplomats. They were conquerors. "We will need time to review these terms," Miller said carefully. The alien nodded. 30 days. Choose wisely." The delegation vanished as quickly as they had appeared. As soon as they were gone, Miller pulled out his secure phone. "They're exactly what we expected. Activate Protocol Omega." Around the world, hidden facilities hummed to life. In underground bases, ships that humanity had been building in secret began powering up. Engineers and scientists who had spent years reverse engineering crashed alien tech rushed to their stations. Military forces moved to predetermined positions. 3 days later, Miller stood before the UN again. Representatives from every nation attended, their faces grim but determined. "The Council believes we are primitive," he said. "They think we will bow to their demands out of fear. They don't know that we've been preparing for this moment for over 50 years. He activated a screen showing Earth's hidden defenses. "Since the Roswell crash in 1947, we have recovered and studied their technology. Every major nation has contributed to our defense program. We have ships, we have weapons, and we have improvements they haven't even imagined." The assembly erupted in applause when Miller showed them the first Earth defense fleet, hidden beneath the surface of the moon. 50 ships, each combining alien tech with human innovation. "We will not bow," Miller declared. "We will not surrender. And when they return, they will learn that humanity is not as helpless as they think." The vote was unanimous. Earth would fight. 27 days later, Miller stood before the alien delegation again. The lead alien looked down at him expectantly. "Have you accepted our terms?" Miller straightened his back and spoke clearly. "Earth rejects your terms. We will not surrender our freedom." "Then you choose extinction," the alien said coldly. Miller smiled slightly. "No, we choose to fight." He paused, looking directly at the alien. "And you should know, we've been preparing for this longer than you can imagine." The alien's expression shifted to confusion, just as their sensors detected the massive energy signatures emerging from behind the moon. Earth's fleet revealed itself, and the real first contact war began. The Council had made a terrible mistake. They thought they were dealing with primitives. Instead, they had just started a war with humanity at its finest, united, prepared, and absolutely unwilling to submit. The Council's attack began at dawn. Their warships darkened the skies over every major city on Earth. They expected a quick victory, a simple show of force to crush human resistance. Instead, they got the fight of their lives. As the first alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere, General Robert Stone stood in the Global Defense Command Center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. Hundreds of screens showed the incoming invasion fleet. He allowed himself a small smile. "Let them get closer," he ordered, watching the alien ships descend. "Wait for it." The Council ships launched their first attack on military bases worldwide. Their energy weapons lit up the sky with purple beams, targeting what they thought were Earth's primary defenses. But their intelligence was wrong. The bases they targeted were decoys, filled with outdated equipment and empty buildings. "Now," Stone commanded. Hidden defense platforms emerged from underground bunkers, mountaintops, and ocean depths. 50 years of studying alien technology had taught humanity well. The defensive shields they raised weren't the simple barriers the Council expected. They were improved versions, enhanced by human innovation. The alien weapons struck the shields and scattered harmlessly. In the command center, cheers erupted. "Launch countermeasure phase 1. Stone ordered. Earth's real defense grid activated. Thousands of small satellites, hidden in orbit for years, powered up. They created a web of energy that trapped the Council's smaller ships, disrupting their engines with technology reverse-engineered from the crashed ships humanity had recovered over the decades. The alien commander's voice boomed over all communication channels. "Impossible. Your species cannot have this level of technology." Stone pressed a button on his command console, opening a channel. "We've had 50 years to study the ships you lost on our planet. Did you think we were just sitting here doing nothing?" On screens worldwide, people watched as the Council's first wave of ships struggled against Earth's defenses. Some tried to retreat, but the satellite grid held them in place. Others attempted to fire their weapons, only to find their energy systems failing. "Second phase," Stone commanded. "Show them what we learned." Earth's hidden fleet rose from the moon, led by Admiral Walker's flagship. But they weren't alone. From underwater bases, more ships emerged, smaller, faster vessels that humans had designed by combining alien tech with Earth's naval warfare experience. The Council's commander made one last attempt at intimidation. "You cannot hope to defeat the full might of the Galactic Council." "Watch us," Stone replied. The battle that followed stunned the Council forces. Earth's ships moved in formations they had never seen, using attack patterns that combined alien technology with human military strategy. The Council's standardized tactics, unchanged for centuries, proved useless against humanity's adaptable warfare. In orbit above North America, an alien battleship found itself surrounded by 5 Earth vessels. It fired its main weapon, only to watch in horror as the Earth ships absorbed the energy and redirected it back, using a technology that human scientists had developed by studying alien power systems. Within hours, the Council's invasion force was in ruins. Their mighty fleet, which had conquered countless worlds, retreated in disarray. Of the 1,000 ships they had sent to subjugate Earth, less than half escaped. In the command center, Stone received reports from around the world. 0 major cities hit. Minimal civilian casualties. The defense grid had held perfectly. "Send the message," he ordered. Admiral Walker's voice transmitted to every surviving Council ship. "This was your only warning. Return, and next time, we won't let any of you escape." As the alien ships fled Earth's space, Stone looked at the casualty reports. The Council had lost over 500 ships. Earth's losses: 12 ships, all unmanned test vessels they had sent out as targets. "Sir," a young officer called out, "we're detecting communications between the retreating ships. They're sending messages to their homeworld." Stone nodded. Let them. Let the whole galaxy know. Earth is not a primitive world to be conquered. We are not simple prey. The Council had made their worst mistake in 10,000 years. They had attacked a planet that was not only ready for them, but had been preparing to fight back for generations. They thought they were starting a simple conquest. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. 3 days after Earth's victory, Admiral Thomas Walker stood on the bridge of his flagship Defender as it led Earth's first offensive into deep space. The massive viewscreen showed hundreds of human ships forming up around him, their hulls gleaming with the combined power of human and alien technology. "All ships report ready, Admiral," his second-in-command reported. "The Council won't expect us to follow them." Walker nodded. That was their advantage. The Council always followed the same pattern: attack, and if defeated, retreat and return with a bigger fleet. But humanity had studied their records. This time, Earth wouldn't wait. "Send the order," Walker commanded. "Operation Thunderbolt begins now." The Earth fleet jumped into faster-than-light travel, using enhanced engines that human engineers had improved far beyond the Council's designs. They had mapped the Council's retreat path and knew exactly where to strike. They emerged from hyperspace near a major Council supply base. The alien defenders froze in shock. No defeated species had ever dared to counterattack before. "They're scrambling their ships," an officer reported. "Their shields are still powering up." Walker smiled. "Launch our new weapons." From the Earth ships, thousands of small objects shot forward. The Council had always relied on big ships and powerful shields. They never expected their enemies to think differently. These tiny drones, barely larger than missiles, carried Earth's secret weapon, shield-piercing technology. The drones slipped through the gaps in the Council's shield grid, gaps that human scientists had discovered by studying their technology. Within minutes, the entire base lost power. "All ships, advance," Walker ordered. "Show them how humanity fights." The Earth fleet split into smaller groups, using tactics learned from centuries of naval warfare. While the Council ships tried to form their standard defensive formations, the human vessels darted between them, striking from unexpected angles. At the base's command center, the Council commander watched in horror as Earth's ships demonstrated technology that shouldn't have been possible. Their weapons were Council designs, but modified and improved. Their tactics were completely unpredictable. "How?" he transmitted. "You're supposed to be primitives." Walker's response was broadcast to every Council ship. "Your mistake was thinking that finding alien technology would make us copy you. Instead, we learned from it and made it better." The battle lasted less than an hour. The Council base, which had stood for thousands of years, fell to Earth's forces. As human ships secured the station, they found something even more valuable than victory: databanks full of Council military information. Back on the Defender's bridge, Walker reviewed the intelligence they'd captured. "Look at this," he said to his officers. "They have bases just like this one all across their territory, and now we have the locations of every single one." The Council had built their empire on fear and overwhelming force. They never expected to face an enemy who would study their technology, improve it, and then use it against them. They never imagined that a primitive species would dare to strike back. As Walker prepared to send the news of their victory back to Earth, a transmission caught his attention. It was coming from a nearby star system, but it wasn't from the Council. "This is the Free Worlds Alliance," the message said. "We saw your victory. We've been waiting centuries for someone to stand up to the Council. We want to help." Walker looked at his officers, seeing the same excitement in their eyes that he felt. The Council hadn't just made one mistake. They had made 3. They had underestimated humanity's ability to learn and improve. They had failed to realize that humans would strike back. And most importantly, they never considered that their defeat would inspire others. "Send word to Earth," Walker ordered. "Tell them Operation Thunderbolt was a success, and we've made contact with potential allies. The real war is just beginning." As the message was sent, Walker watched his fleet regroup for their next target. The Council had ruled the galaxy through fear for 10,000 years. Now they would learn what happened when they pushed humanity too far. The galaxy was about to change forever. Dr. Anna Roberts walked through her underground laboratory, surrounded by the most advanced technology humanity had ever created. Screens showed the ongoing battles across space, where Earth's forces continued to defeat the Council's ships. But today, they would reveal their greatest weapon yet. The quantum penetrator is ready, she announced to the military leaders gathered in the observation room. It's time to show the Council what human science can really do. General Stone and several other officials leaned forward as she activated the main display. Behind thick protective glass, a small device hummed to life, glowing with a soft blue light. For 10,000 years, Dr. Roberts explained, the Council has relied on their shield technology. They think it's perfect, but we found something they missed. She pointed to a captured Council shield generator they had taken from their recent victory. Their shields work by creating a quantum barrier. They never thought to look deeper because it always worked. But human scientists asked different questions. On a separate screen, she showed detailed scans of the Council's shield technology. We discovered that their quantum barriers have a flaw so basic they never noticed it because they stopped looking for improvements thousands of years ago. The military leaders watched as she activated the quantum penetrator. The captured Council shield flickered and died instantly. This device doesn't just weaken their shields, Dr. Roberts said with pride. It completely shuts them down. The Council's greatest defense is now useless. General Stone's eyes widened. Can we put this on our ships? Better, Dr. Roberts smiled. We can make it small enough to fit on missiles. Every Council ship, every base, every fortress they built over 10,000 years. They're all vulnerable now. The news spread quickly through Earth's military command. Within hours, Admiral Walker's fleet began receiving the new weapons. The quantum penetrators were loaded onto their smallest drones, ready for the next phase of the war. The Council discovered this new threat at their largest military base in the Orion sector. They watched in horror as their supposedly impenetrable shields collapsed under attack from tiny human drones. Their mighty warships, once considered invincible, now lay exposed to Earth's weapons. Impossible, the Council's supreme commander transmitted across all frequencies. No species has ever broken our shield technology. The response came from Dr. Roberts herself. Speaking from Earth, you stopped looking for answers. Humans never stop asking questions. Across the galaxy, the news spread like wildfire. The Council's greatest defense had been defeated by the very species they had tried to conquer. Other alien races, long suppressed by Council technology, began to see hope for the first time in millennia. Back in her lab, Dr. Roberts received an unexpected message. It came from scientists among the Free Worlds Alliance, other brilliant minds who had seen flaws in Council technology, but never had the freedom to explore them. We have more, one alien scientist transmitted. So much more. Things we saw but could never test because of Council restrictions. Would Earth be willing to work together? Dr. Roberts looked at General Stone, who nodded immediately. This was more than just a military victory. It was the beginning of a scientific revolution. Send them everything we have on the quantum penetrator, General Stone ordered. Let's see what other secrets the Council has missed. As Earth's fleets continued their advance across space, now armed with the shield-breaking technology, Dr. Roberts began organizing the galaxy's first free scientific conference in 10,000 years. Scientists from a dozen oppressed species would finally have the chance to share their hidden discoveries. The Council didn't just make a mistake attacking Earth, she told her team as they prepared to welcome their new alien colleagues. They showed us exactly why they needed to be defeated. They stopped growing, stopped questioning, stopped trying to improve. She looked at the quantum penetrator, now being mass-produced for Earth's growing fleet. But humanity never stops asking questions, and now neither will the rest of the galaxy. The Council was about to learn another harsh lesson. They hadn't just attacked a species with powerful weapons. They had awakened the galaxy's greatest innovators. Commander Mark Thompson stood on the bridge of the diplomatic vessel Hope as it approached the secret meeting point. Representatives from 12 different alien species had risked everything to meet with Earth's delegation. Below them, a dead moon orbited a gas giant, far from the Council's usual patrol routes. "They're arriving," his sensor officer reported. Ships of various designs emerged from hiding, each carrying leaders who had dreamed of freedom for generations. "This is the moment that changes everything," Thompson said, watching the alien ships dock with their station. After weeks of fighting the Council, humanity had realized that military victory wasn't enough. They needed to help rebuild the galaxy. The meeting chamber filled with beings of all shapes and sizes. Some walked on many legs, others floated in the air, but they all shared the same look in their eyes. "Hope. We've watched your battles against the Council," said a tall, crystalline being who led the largest resistance group. "For 10,000 years, no one dared to fight back. But you didn't just fight. You won." Thompson activated a hologram showing Earth's victories. "We didn't win because we're stronger," he explained. "We won because the Council stopped improving centuries ago. They thought they were perfect. That was their weakness." He showed them the quantum penetrator technology. "This is just the beginning. Dr. Roberts and our scientists are ready to share everything we've learned, but more importantly, we want to learn from you." The alien leaders looked surprised. Most had expected Earth to simply become the new rulers of the galaxy. Instead, humanity was offering partnership. "The Council kept us apart for a reason," Thompson continued. "They knew that if we shared our knowledge, if we worked together, we could surpass them. That ends today." One by one, the alien leaders stepped forward. Each had brought their own secrets, technologies and discoveries they had hidden from the Council for centuries. Together, they began to plan. Within days, the revolution spread across the galaxy. Council ships found themselves facing not just Earth's forces, but newly armed resistance fighters from a dozen worlds. The quantum penetrator had broken more than their shields. It had broken their image of invincibility. "Look at this," Thompson said, showing his crew the reports flooding in. Planet after planet was declaring independence. The Council's grip on power was crumbling. But the most surprising help came from within the Council itself. Junior members of their government, species who had joined peacefully long ago, began to turn against their leaders. They had seen Earth's example and chosen to stand with the revolution. "We were wrong about humanity," one Council member transmitted during their defection. "We thought they were primitive because they were young. Instead, they showed us what we had forgotten: the power of never stopping, never accepting limits." Thompson worked tirelessly, coordinating between Earth's fleet and their new allies. Dr. Roberts' scientific conference had turned into a galaxy-wide movement. Species that had been enemies under Council rule now worked together, sharing discoveries that had been hidden for centuries. "The Council thought they could keep us weak by keeping us afraid of each other," Thompson told the latest group of allies. "But look what happens when we work together." He showed them footage from Earth, where alien scientists now worked alongside humans in Dr. Roberts' lab. Together, they had already improved the quantum penetrator technology. New breakthroughs were happening daily. As the revolution entered its second month, the Council's power base had shrunk to just their core systems. Their mighty empire, built on fear and stagnation, was collapsing. "Send word to Admiral Walker," Thompson ordered. "The combined fleet is ready. It's time to end this." The largest fleet ever assembled in galaxy's history gathered near Earth. Ships of every size and design, crewed by beings from 100 worlds, all united under a simple banner: freedom to grow, to learn, and to work together. The Council had thought they were crushing another primitive world. Instead, they had sparked a revolution that would reshape the galaxy forever. And humanity was leading the way. The Council's home system burned with the light of 1,000 ships. Admiral Walker stood on the bridge of the Defender, now upgraded with technology from a dozen alien races. The combined fleet of Earth and its allies surrounded the last stronghold of the once mighty Galactic Council. They've retreated to their capital world, his tactical officer reported. Their remaining fleet is forming a defensive line. The Council's supreme leaders had gathered in their great citadel, a massive structure that had stood for 10,000 years. They had never imagined they would face an enemy at their very doorstep. "Send the message," Walker ordered. "One last chance." His words echoed across every communication channel. "This is Admiral Walker of Earth. Your empire is fallen. Your subject worlds are free. Surrender now and face justice for your crimes. Resist, and we will show you no mercy." The response came quickly. The Council's High Commander, speaking for the first time since the war began, appeared on every screen. His voice shook with rage and fear. "You dare to threaten us? We ruled this galaxy before your species learned to make fire. We will not bow to primitives." Walker shook his head. Even now, they couldn't understand their own failure. "All ships," he commanded, "execute final attack plan." The combined fleet moved with perfect coordination. Ships from Earth flew alongside vessels from dozens of liberated worlds. Each had contributed their own unique tactics and technology to this final battle. The Council launched their desperate counterattack. They had gathered every remaining ship, every weapon, every soldier still loyal to their cause. Their fleet was still impressive, but they were fighting the same way they had for thousands of years. "Launch the new drones," Walker ordered. From the Allied ships, millions of tiny drones emerged. They carried the latest version of the quantum penetrator, improved by the combined work of scientists from 30 different species. The Council's shields didn't just fail, they shattered. "Impossible." The High Commander screamed across the communications. "Our defenses are perfect." "That's why you lost," Walker responded. "Nothing is perfect. Everything can be improved. You forgot that lesson long ago." The battle that followed was brief but fierce. Council ships, their shields useless, fell one by one to the combined fleet's weapons. Some tried to flee, only to find their escape routes blocked by more Allied ships arriving from hyperspace. On the capital world below, the Council's citizens watched in awe as their invincible leaders proved very vincible indeed. Many had never seen their rulers fail at anything. Now they watched their mighty fleet burn. The High Commander made one final desperate move. The Council's citadel revealed hidden weapons, ancient devices they had kept secret for millennia. Energy beams of impossible power lashed out at the Allied fleet. But humanity had planned for this too. Dr. Roberts' latest invention, a defensive system that turned energy weapons back on their sources, proved devastating. The Council's secret weapons destroy their own citadel. "All enemy ships have been disabled or destroyed," Walker's tactical officer reported. "The citadel's defenses are down. Their government center is exposed." Walker opened a channel to all ships and worlds watching the battle. 10,000 years of oppression end today. The Council's rule is over. The Council's surviving leaders, trapped in their ruined citadel, finally did what they had never done before. They surrendered unconditionally. As Allied ships landed around the citadel, Walker received messages from across the galaxy. Worlds that had been neutral were now asking to join the new alliance. Species that had served the Council out of fear were declaring their independence. "Send word to Earth," Walker ordered. "Tell them it's done. The galaxy is free." He looked at the view screen showing the Council's capital world below. The citadel that had symbolized absolute power for 10,000 years now stood broken and exposed. Its fall marked more than just the end of a war. It marked the end of an era. The Council had ruled through fear, stagnation, and absolute control. They had thought these things made them strong. Instead, they had made them vulnerable to a species that valued freedom, progress, and cooperation. Humanity had not just won a war. They had changed the galaxy forever. And this was just the beginning. 1 year after the Council's fall, the Great Hall of the new Galactic Federation sparkled with life. Built on Earth, it symbolized humanity's promise to do things differently than the Council. Ambassador James Miller, who had faced the Council's first threats, now stood before representatives of over 300 species. Today marks 1 year since we achieved victory, he announced to the assembled beings. But our real victory isn't in what we destroyed. It's in what we've built together. The hall itself showed this truth. Unlike the Council's cold, imposing citadel, the Federation building welcomed all. Its architecture combined styles from dozens of worlds. Scientists from different species worked together in labs throughout the building. Trading ships from all corners of the galaxy filled Earth's orbit above. Dr. Anna Roberts, now leading the Federation's Science Council, stepped forward to present her report. In 1 year of free cooperation, we've made more technological progress than the Council achieved in a century. When we share knowledge instead of hoarding it, wonderful things happen. She displayed images of the latest achievements. New medical technologies that could heal any species. Faster ships that could cross the galaxy in days instead of weeks. Clean energy systems that could power entire worlds. Admiral Walker, his uniform now bearing the Federation's symbol of unity, spoke next. Our combined fleet no longer exists to oppress. We defend freedom and protect the weak. Already, we've stopped 3 attempts by warlords to build new empires. The galaxy will never again bow to tyrants. The former council races have been surprised by how humanity handled victory. They had expected Earth to simply take the council's place as rulers. Instead, humans had done something unprecedented. They had given power back to the people they helped free. Commander Thompson, who had helped forge the first alliances, shared the diplomatic report. Every month, more isolated worlds asked to join our Federation. They see that we're different from the Council. We don't demand obedience. We offer partnership. The Federation operated on simple but powerful principles that humanity had insisted upon. All species were equal members. Knowledge and technology were shared freely. Each world governed itself while contributing to the common good. Military power existed to protect, never to oppress. Progress and innovation were celebrated, never feared. In the audience, the former High Commander of the Council watched with amazement. After his surrender, he had expected execution. Instead, humanity had shown mercy, allowing former Council leaders to witness the new order they had created. I understand now, he said when invited to speak. We thought ruling through fear made us strong. But look at what has been achieved in 1 year of freedom. We were fools to try to conquer humanity. We should have asked to learn from them instead. Miller smiled as he delivered the final part of his speech. The Council thought they were perfect, so they stopped growing. Humanity knows we aren't perfect, and that's our strength. We never stopped trying to improve, to learn, to be better than we are today. He gestured to the great star map showing the Federation's space. Where the Council had ruled through division and fear, new trade routes and cultural exchanges flowed freely between worlds. Species that had been enemies under Council rule now worked together on great projects. This is humanity's gift to the galaxy, Miller concluded. Not our weapons or our technology, but our endless desire to grow, to explore, to question what's possible. We taught the galaxy that true strength comes not from crushing others, but from lifting them up. As the assembly erupted in cheers, Miller looked out at the gathered representatives. Former enemies sat together, planning joint ventures. Scientists from 100 worlds shared discoveries. Military officers who had once fought each other now commanded joint peacekeeping missions. The Council had ruled for 10,000 years, bringing stagnation and fear. In just 1 year, humanity had helped build something far greater. A civilization where all species could grow, learn, and thrive together. The galaxy had entered a new age, and this was only the beginning of what they would achieve together. In the end, humanity's greatest victory hadn't been defeating the Council. It had been showing the galaxy a better way to live. The stars themselves seemed brighter now, filled with the light of freedom and endless possibility.